There's a specific thing that happens to
Hey
a baby's
there,
face the
little
moment their
one.
father gets down on the floor with them.
I
If you're a dad, you've seen it. Because their eyes go wider, the whole body changes. Something switches on that doesn't switch on at any other time of day. Not during feeding, not during a cuddle, not even during play with anyone else. And most fathers have absolutely no idea what they're actually doing in that moment. They think they're just goofing around. They're not. They're building a person. Because the science of
The
father play is
fascinating,
one of the most
underdiscussed
fascinating and
science of
least talked
father
about
play.
areas in all of infant research. Researchers have a name for it, the activation relationship. And once you understand what your particular brand of silly, rough, unpredictable floor play is doing inside your baby's developing brain, you will never see it as just messing around again. So I'm going to do this differently.
Let's build
and guys, I'm
something
not going to
fun.
give you a
Yay, a
lecture,
tower!
but I'm going to put you on the floor right now.
Ready to
with your
play,
baby,
little one?
and walk you through a single
my little
ordinary play session,
explorer.
moment by moment, and show you what each beat is quietly building inside them. If you're a father, this one's for you. And if you're a mother watching it happen, this will change what you see. Get on the floor. Let's begin. You get down on the floor. Before you've done anything at all, before a single tickle or toss, something has already shifted in your baby. Because the kind of play you're about to do is biologically different from the kind their mother does. This isn't a stereotype or a cultural habit. It's one of the
A
most
consistently replicated
findings in
shown as
parenting
the same
research,
warm amber
across
result,
dozens of
appearing
studies,
across many
multiple
studies, many
and
countries,
different
many
cultures.
cultures.
When researchers
Up
watch
you
mothers
go,
and
little
fathers
one.
play with their babies separately,
see the
the same
colors.
pattern shows up
Roll it
again
to
and again.
me.
Mothers tend toward play that's more verbal, more face-to-face, more soothing. Fathers tend toward what researchers call activation play. More physical, more surprising, more arousing, more likely to involve a bit of rough and tumble, a bit of challenge, a bit of edge. Here's the
Let's
striking
play
part.
gently, okay?
Even when fathers are
Okay,
specifically
Daddy.
instructed to play
Want to
gently
see
and
the
calmly
pictures?
like the mother,
Yes,
they
please.
drift back toward activation
Higher,
anyway.
Daddy.
The pull toward this style seems to come from somewhere deep. It isn't taught to fathers by the culture. It rises up out of them, and the baby's nervous system responds to it like it's been waiting for it. Both kinds of play matter enormously. Neither is better, but they're not the same, and your baby's brain needs the particular thing that yours provides. You make the first surprising sound. You start small. A sudden funny noise, a gasp, a boo, something unexpected. And watch what happens to your baby. The eyes sharpen, the attention locks on. They get this electric, slightly thrilled look, different from simple happiness. Developmental psychologists have a name for what they're experiencing. Positive challenge. Something surprising, just a little outside what they expected. Exciting precisely because it's surprising. Here's what's happening underneath that look. Your baby's brain is running a constant prediction machine, guessing what comes next based on what came before. When you do something unexpected and it turns out to be safe and delightful, that prediction system gets a tiny, crucial lesson. It learns, the world is more surprising than I expected, and surprising isn't the same as dangerous. Researchers who study how children learn to handle uncertainty trace that capacity right back to these moments. Safe surprise, again and again, teaches a baby that the unknown can be wonderful. You're not just being silly, you're calibrating how your baby relates to the unexpected, for life. You lift them up, and they hit the edge. Now it gets more physical. You lift them, swoop them, bounce them. And somewhere in here, your baby arrives at a very particular place, the edge of what they can handle. Excited, a little overwhelmed, right at the border between thrilling and too much. And they know it, and they love it. This edge is the whole point. This is where the real building happens. Because what your baby is learning, right at that border, is something researchers consider one of the foundations of courage. Not adult courage, but the nervous system's basic willingness to approach something new and uncertain without being flooded by it. Every time you take them to that edge safely, a gentle toss caught in sure hands, a thrill that resolves in a laugh, their nervous system absorbs a lesson too deep for words. The edge of what I know is survivable. Things can feel scary and turn out wonderful. And this isn't just a
Relationship
nice
theory,
idea.
grounded in real studies, shows
grounded in
fathers
what's
who
called
engage in
activation
stimulating,
relationship
challenging play
theory
build
have
warm,
found that
solid
fathers who
bonds.
engage in this
It's not just a
stimulating,
nice
challenging
idea, it's
play
the
promote their child's self-regulation, autonomy, and willingness to explore. What one researcher beautifully called the attachment bond that opens children to the world. Mother's play tends to teach a child they're safe. Father's play tends to teach a child the world is worth venturing into. Your baby needs both messages. Right now, you're delivering yours. You go one step too far, and they tip over. And then it happens. It always happens. One toss too many, one sound too loud, and the laughing tips into tears. The play went one beat past the edge. Most fathers feel a flash of guilt here. Don't. Because what you do in the next 10 seconds is one of the most valuable things in the entire session. You stop. You pull them in. You soothe. You bring them back down from overwhelmed to calm, in your arms. And in doing that, you've just completed something researchers consider as important as the play itself. Your baby just learned that excitement can tip over, and that when it does, a trusted person is right there to bring them back. The going too far isn't a failure of play. The recovery from it is part of what makes the play so powerful. The repair teaches as much as the fun. This is emotional regulation being built in real time. Your baby is learning the full loop, up to the edge, over it, and safely back, with you as the steady thing that makes the whole ride safe. The father who stays present when the play tips into tears, who soothes instead of withdrawing, is handing his baby one of the most complete lessons in managing big feelings that early childhood offers. You do the same ridiculous thing for the 15th time. You found the move that gets the biggest laugh, so you do it again, and again, and they want it again, laughing just as hard the 15th time as the first. It feels almost too simple to matter. It matters enormously. Every repetition is your baby practicing something specific, looking forward to something. They're building a prediction, this funny thing is going to happen, and it's going to be safe and great, and then having that prediction rewarded over and over. They're learning at the deepest level how to anticipate joy, how to hold positive expectation and have it met. The repetition isn't diminishing the lesson. Each round drives it deeper. And there's a quiet exchange happening in these repeated, joyful rounds that runs in both directions. Which brings us to something most fathers are never told. What the play is doing to you. The biology doesn't only run one way. Research on fathers during active play with their infants has found that this physical, playful, activated interaction is linked to meaningful changes in the father's own hormones and brain, including the bonding systems involving oxytocin and the development of paternal-specific activity in the prefrontal regions of the brain across the early months of fatherhood. In plain terms, this kind of play isn't just good for your baby. It may be the single most powerful way your own bond to your baby gets built and deepened. The silly floor play that looks like you giving something to your baby is also giving something to you, wiring a father's brain and heart into one of the most significant relationships of his life. The play is the investment, the return is the relationship. You're not just bonding your baby to you, you're bonding yourself to them. Why this is the thing only you can do. Here are things I want you to take from this video before it ends. When you play with your baby like this, you are not a backup entertainer. You are not a stand-in for their mother. You are irreplaceable because the specific thing your play provides, the activation, the challenge, the safe edge, the thrilling unpredictability, is something the research keeps finding that babies specifically need and that this particular style reliably delivers. Now, I want to be honest with you about the science because you deserve the real version. The strongest evidence we have, a meta-analysis pooling 16 studies of over 1,500 father-child pairs, found real but modest links between fathers' physical play and children's emotional skills, social competence, and self-regulation. This isn't magic, and it isn't the only thing that shapes a child, but the direction of the evidence is consistent and genuinely hopeful. The rough, joyful, edge-of-thrilling play that fathers naturally bring is associated with children who handle their emotions better, get along with peers better, and move toward new situations more readily. The goofing around is doing real work. And it's work that happens in the most ordinary moments imaginable. Not special outings, not expensive toys, just you, on the floor, being ridiculous, in an unremarkable afternoon. So here's the only instruction that really matters. Get on the floor. Not when everything else is done. Not when it's convenient. Now, because your baby is waiting for something that only you can give them. The surprise, the challenge, the safe edge, the thing that makes them braver, steadier, more able to meet a world that won't always be gentle or predictable. Be unpredictable. Make the ridiculous sound. Lift them up and catch them in sure hands. Take them to the edge and bring them safely back. Do the thing that makes them laugh 14 times, and then, because they're begging you with their whole body, do it a 15th. Because every one of those laughs is doing something real in your baby's brain. Something that builds courage and regulation and joy and a bond that will be one of the most important of both your lives. You're not just playing with your baby. You're building a person, one laugh at a time. And they're down there right now, reaching up, waiting to show you exactly what they've been waiting for. If you're a father and this gave you something, get on the floor today, then come back and tell me in the comments what you and your baby play. I read them all. Subscribe, because here we go past what your baby does and into what they're actually feeling and becoming. the things they can't say yet but are absolutely living. I'll see you in the next one.